John Jay was born in New York City, New York on December 12, 1745, to Peter Jay and Mary Van Cortlandt as one of their 10 children. His father was a wealthy trader of furs, wheat, and timber. John spent his childhood in Rye, New York. He was being educated by his mother at home until he turned 8 years old. He was then sent to New Rochelle to study under Anglican priest Pierre Stoup. He later returned home after 3 years and continued his education under his mother and George Murray. He joined King's College at the age of 15 in 1760 and met many people during this period who would greatly influence his thinking. He grew deeply interested in politics and became a staunch Whig. He graduated with the highest honors in 1764. He proceeded to study law under Benjamin Kissam, a prominent lawyer and politician, and completed his legal studies in 1768, following which he was admitted to the bar of New York. John Jay would eventually marry Sarah Van Livingston, the eldest daughter of New Jersey Governor William Livingston. In 1774, he became a member of the New York Committee of Correspondence. His first political role was when he became secretary for the committee. Due to violent acts by British troops, Jay supported independence and pushed for the Revolutionary War and became a patriot, helping the First Continental Congress. On May 8, 1777, Jay was elected Chief Justice of the New York Supreme Court. He served as the president of the Continental Congress from December 10, 1778 to September 28, 1779. He was later appointed the first Chief Justice of the United States by President George Washington in 1789. The most famous case Jay presided over was the Chisholm versus Georgia. However, the court decision was overturned by the ratification of the 11th Amendment. In 1795, Jay resigned from the Supreme Court and became the second governor of New York, dealing with Britain over territorial disputes. He went to England with negotiations leading to the Jay Treaty. After serving as governor for 6 years, Jay ran for president in 1800. Dealing with an overwhelming loss, Jay retired from public life to his farm in Westchester, New York. He died on May 17, 1829, at the age of 83 from a stroke in Bedford, New York.
The landmark Supreme Court case, Loving v. Virginia. This case involved Richard Loving, a white male who was a construction worker, and Mildred Loving, his wife, a black woman whose parents were sharecroppers. In 1959, the Lovings were first arrested for being married. In the state of Virginia, it was illegal for a white person to be married to somebody who was considered colored. The couple lived in Caroline County, Virginia, where white and black people lived together peacefully, unlike the majority of the state of Virginia. The couple was unaware that they were not allowed to be married. On the night of their arrest, the couple was sleeping. The police entered, shined a light on them, and asked, "Who is this woman you are sleeping with?" To which Mrs. Loving responded, "I am his wife," but the officer replied, saying, "Not here, you're not." Their marriage was considered illegal, and they had to leave the state of Virginia for 25 years. Even though the couple was asked to leave the state, they would occasionally visit but were eventually arrested. Years later, Mrs. Loving wrote a letter to Attorney General Robert Kennedy, who gave that letter to a Virginia lawyer, Bernard Cohen. Cohen and another attorney by the name of Philip J. Hirschkopf helped reopen and fight the case. They argued that the state laws were considered unconstitutional, which is why the case was brought to the Supreme Court. This case was argued from April 10, 1967, until the decision on June 12, 1967. The case was ruled in favor of the Lovings. As a result, state interracial marriage laws were banned. This case was followed by many because it took place towards the end of the civil rights movement. It has an impact on today's world because it opened up a door for so many interracial couples after the Lovings to live a happy life.